Good morning. I'm here in the capital city of the Republic of Georgia, which is Tbilisi. I'm on my way to another city, a coastal city by the name of Batumi. It's about a 5-hour train ride from here. So it's 6 in the morning. I'm taking the taxi to the train station. I'm leaving my beautiful apartment here and I'm headed to Batumi. So join me as we go to Batumi. By the way, here's a quick look at my flat. It's simple but effective, and it costs about $24 a night. I paid $650 for the month. All right, I think I found the train. It's here. Platform 1. Just look how beautiful Georgia is. Seriously. The train is nice. It's basically like new in here, and the ticket only costs 35 Georgian lari, which is about $10 to $15 for a 5-hour train ride across the country. We've been traveling for about an hour. It's climate controlled, Wi-Fi.
Dear passengers, this station is Uregi.
We've arrived here in Batumi. Train arrived right on time. It took about 5 hours. Black Sea is just right here next to the train station. As we were coming closer to Batumi, I felt like the landscape got a lot less alpine in a way and a lot more maybe subtropical. For example, I see a palm tree right next to the Black Sea. Arrived in the city center here, took a cab. As we were driving, I saw there's a port here in Batumi. There's also lots of delivery guys on their motorcycles, which is pretty normal. It's an interesting feeling city. Like I said, I mean, it's fairly tropical. Some of this architecture kind of reminds me of like New Orleans, maybe. And as I'm walking through the city center here, I guess it feels kind of like a port city. Batumi gets its name from the Greek name for the city, which means deep bay or deep harbor. By the way, the name of this square is Europe Square. Behind me, there's a statue of Medea. The golden fleece reflects the history of the early relations between ancient Greece and Georgia. Medea was the Colchidian princess, magician, ancestor of medicine, and mate of Jason, the leader of the Argonauts. Just off of Europe Square, there's this astronomical clock. It's a 24-hour clock. I'm not exactly sure what it says or how to read it. Maybe it shows the time and what zodiac sign is currently happening. I'm slowly figuring this out. Here's a 24-hour clock around the outside, and I think the Roman numerals just correspond. You have a 12 here and a 12 here. Here, the blue shows you the hours of darkness. Here, the white shows hours of daylight. And then here, I'm guessing, is like the zodiac symbols. I feel like we're all trying to figure out how to read this clock, and I guess I'm not gonna set my work schedule by whatever that says. I don't know what it says. At one point, Batumi was under the control of the Ottoman Empire, and there's still a Turkish part of town where you can get Turkish food, and they have one mosque in this area. Georgia has a great climate for all kinds of fruits and vegetables like grapes, peaches, plums, but here on this sidewalk you can find a kiwi, which was planted by the sailors. Apparently it's a perfect climate for the kiwi tree. The two boys with the flutes are the symbol of the city, and you can see some statues around the city of other child musicians. Another popular place here in Batumi is called Piazza Square. It's a fairly recent addition to the city. It feels modern, it feels very European, and it has this awesome mosaic. Here we are on the Black Sea coast. I heard that the Black Sea was kind of dirty. Some people don't go in there, but here obviously they're swimming, which is good to see. We got the big hotels here. I'm surprised at Batumi. It seems a lot more vibrant than I expected. I didn't expect so many tourists. Quite a lot of shops and restaurants here. Nice boardwalk going up and down the coast. There's a bike trail. There's an outdoor gym. There's some dogs. They do have McDonald's here, but it's just ice cream and coffee. That's it. No fries, no burgers. Here's a bamboo forest behind me. I think it's real. There's this interesting building here with a Ferris wheel in the side of it. As the sun's starting to go down here in Batumi, There's a festival going on here, Batumi Festival, kind of an end of summer festival. There's a Ferris wheel, there's music, and there's this art installation, Ali and Nino. And it's based off of a novel. The man was Azerbaijani, the woman was Georgian. He was Muslim, she was Christian. And they loved each other, but they couldn't be together, and they died separately. The statue moves, it slowly rotates, and every 10 minutes, the two figures in the statue come together, and it looks like they kiss as they move through each other and they embrace. Near here, there's also Alphabet Tower. It has this helix on the outside of it, and if you look closely, it has Georgian letters on it as well. You can buy a ticket to take the elevator ride to the top. The view's not so great at night because it's hard to see outside. I thought it was interesting to see this red thing at the very top, which I quickly realized was a counterweight to dampen the sway of the tower in the wind. As I keep exploring the city here, there's this cable car. I'm going to see if I can go inside and get a ticket. We'll see how late they are open, see if there are any good views. So it takes about 15 minutes to get to the top. And then there's a cafe, there's a restaurant, there's some wine. There's this little Orthodox church over here. And then, of course, there's a viewpoint for photo opportunities. As the city sprawls behind me now in the distance as we're on top of this overlook, let me ask you this. How big do you think this city is? What do you think the population is? As there's just building after building, and there's many skyscrapers, and there's big hotels here. You'll never guess. It's only supposedly 300,000 for the metro, and the city itself is supposed to be about 180,000, and that just feels really insane to me because I see all these blocks of buildings just continuing. It almost feels more like Manhattan than it does, let's say, Lincoln, Nebraska. Is Lincoln, Nebraska 200 to 300,000? Maybe everyone is just consolidated on the coast here in these apartments or something. Batumi is basically the Las Vegas of the area. You can come here, you can gamble, and they also call it the Dubai of Georgia, since all these buildings are going up on the coast.